Hello, everyone. Namaskara. Welcome to Adda. And as usual, today we are going to talk about cricket. So, welcome to our cricket segment. And if we are going to talk about cricket, it has to be IPL oriented Royal Challengers Bangalore. But there is a small surprise today, right? We are not getting the guest who had come earlier. We have a new guest on the show today. And just like RCB is just not limited to Bengaluru and how we are popular across India, like if you go to any stadium, the only chant which comes is RCB. And I personally, from 2008, I've been watching cricket. I'm not seeing that across clubs which have come across, right? So, does by default, it makes us popular across India. So, today I would like to invite Sparsh, who's from Jaipur but stays in Hyderabad. So we are having diversity to another level. So before I call him, please like and subscribe the channel. Hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any videos right now. Right? Let's invite Sparsh on camera. Oh, here he is. Hi, Sparsh. How are you? How's life going? How's Jaipur's heat?
Hello, Ravindra. Thank you, first of all, for having me on your channel. Always great talking cricket. And chal raha hai yaar, all good, fantastic. Jaipur's heat, it's getting to me now. I mean, it's touching 40 and it's
Oh my
just the
God.
start. By the way, just a small correction. I stay in Hyderabad, but right now I'm in Jaipur. I'm from Hyderabad, but right now I'm in Jaipur. So you just did it the other way.
फ्लिप कर दिया मैंने उल्टा कर दिया
Yes.
I had visited Jaipur very long back when I used to work with Shamak Davas then. So I
Okay.
think there's a very popular school there. They have multiple school, So we had come to teach dance for their annual
Wow.
function. So when we had come, it was winter. So my experience of Jaipur is very good.
Oh,
so,
yes.
so to talk about Sparsh, he's extremely active on Twitter, which is currently X, and he's very good with his cricket knowledge. And every match, please go and hit a follow for him on Twitter. Every match ke pehle, there is a stats and there's a history which he puts out, and pretty much it comes right. And that's how I found this gem, if I have to say. And happens to be RCB fan. So Sone pe suhaga they say, no, Hindi mein. So straight away, before we start talking about the main event, I want you to speak about the adrenaline which went with you. Kal raat ka, yeah, the match between RCB versus MI. What did you think? How was it? And finally, after 4 matches, we got a match which is not one-sided. All yours.
Fantastic game of cricket. I mean, I felt that the team which wins the toss will have the upper hand, but RCB somehow won. And I think one major factor behind that was कि dew नहीं आया. Even in a stadium like Wankhede, where you generally expect a lot of dew to come, and that is also the reason why there is a मतलब second innings वाली जो chasing team होती है, they usually end up winning. But dew is not coming this season in that amount, and also there are other factors as well, like the ball change and saliva, which is helping bowlers get that reverse swing towards the end. So all of it considered, I feel like fantastic game for RCB. In both innings, I feel there were a few overs, 3-4 overs ka phase tha, where they kind of were not at their best. But apart from that, a very clinical performance. And by the way, kudos to Hardik Pandya. He really gave me a scare over there. The way he started hitting from ball number 1, unbelievable, man. And I mean, I felt like Mumbai Indians were favorites heading into the slog overs, but then fantastic bowling by Bhuvi and Hazelwood, particularly nailing the Yorkers, and then Krunal Pandya ka last over. I think fantastic game of cricket, and most importantly, not a one-sided one.
Exactly. Say, like today morning, I was speaking to someone and I mentioned it to them saying the moment Hardik came and the way he came, it just reminded me of our India versus England in NatWest, right? Like once Sachin got out, you just gave up, like khatam match. Like I remember as growing up, slept off, and majority of Indians slept off. I think before this Yuvraj Singh and KF came and did. So here also, I was like, Gaya match. This say we are back to where we were before. But But Bhuvi is over, and as you said, Krunal Pandya. I think even the catching towards last 2 overs, like they held their nerve.
Fantastic.
Tim David, Salt. Oh, what a like! I'm happy. Like I've already started calling them mentality monsters because there is a change in the mentality. Very nice. Now, why we have met here? So we are going to talk about the main event, which is Delhi Capital versus Royal Challengers, happening at home, Chinnaswamy Stadium. I think like how Chennai has Chepauk, उन्होंने fortress बना लिया है. Mumbai has Wankhede, fortress बना लिया है. Eden Gardens, fortress बना लिया. Somehow Chinnaswamy is becoming like a curse or a horror story to RCB majority of the time. Obviously, we have our very good moments, but I spoke about this last match also. How much Chinnaswamy is turning out to be crucial for us this season. And what do you think about this whole Chinnaswamy का जो भूत है ना, कभी जाएगा या यही ऐसे ही रहेगा?
See, first of all, I don't exactly agree with the public perception कि Chinnaswamy is cursed या फिर RCB cannot win a Chinnaswamy. Since 2020, 50-50 record रहा है. 7 wins, 7 losses. Since 2020 या फिर since 2020, 7 wins and 7 losses. So it's a 50-50 record. And also like Wankhede, Chinnaswamy maybe due आता है, and in the second innings, it becomes very difficult for the bowling team to defend totals. In the first game, Chinnaswamy, I mean, I don't remember properly whether Dew came or not, but I think even if it was there, it was not there in that very large amounts what we have seen in the previous seasons. So, I mean, first of all, yes, I don't think it is a cursed ground and RCB can never win over there. I think they can. Even last season, I think they won 3 games on the trot at Chinnaswamy, or 3 or 4 games on the trot to qualify for the playoffs. And overall, can they turn it into a fortress? I'm not too sure, because even Mo Bobat, I think before the season, he said ki it is a very difficult venue to actually turn it into a fortress because of the dimensions and the pitch, how it plays over there. But one thing which I would say is ki this time they have very good and high quality defensive bowlers. Krunal Pandya, Suyash Sharma can bowl defensively, as we saw yesterday. Hazelwood, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, class apart. Livingston can bowl a few overs of matchup off spin or leg spin, depending on who the batter is. And overall, I feel like their bowling unit this time is better equipped to probably win 1 or 2 more games at Chinnaswamy than what we have been doing over the last few seasons.
I completely agree, because this, as I mentioned it, public perception has to change, and they also have to change it. Also, we have a very strong memory of so many games backfiring. For example, 2008 opening game, where I was there, and that was my first memory of RCB getting battered. Then Dhoni coming in and finishing off the game last 4 overs when we were winning. So, but however, last year we turned it around in the last match with Chennai. So this takes me to the fact that currently stakes are high. And when you said, just to add in, when you said, Bobat also said it, that it's very difficult to turn. I just touched the desk, so the touch shoot karta hai. So I'm like, hope we change it. And even in WPL, if you see, for women's also this season, it didn't work out, the stadium, right? And as you said, toss plays a huge factor. And I personally have a problem with it. Something like a coin can't decide your fate. And वही हुआ World Cup में last year भी. So how much does this toss play a huge factor? Why I'm saying is, now again, we are in a good groove, we are in a form, one off, so हार गए. But we are facing DC, who's not lost a game. It's the only team who has not lost the game and is coming to Chinnaswamy. And very good lineup, bowling lineup, especially my personal favorite. So how much does toss again play a factor? If it plays a factor and we end up batting first, will we change like how we played against GT?
Toss, see, again, I think it heavily depends on the situation of the Dew. If Dew is not coming, then is there a reason for teams to actually bowl first or bowl first? Yeah, because agar Dew nahi aa raha hai, so फिर you can bat first, put runs on board, and then look to defend it, right? But if Dew is there, and I think the teams are the best to gauge this depending on what happens in the practice sessions and all. if Dew is coming, then obviously bowling first is the way to go, and results, they definitely go more towards the chasing side in that case. But if Dew is not coming, then I feel it's very even Stevens, and especially with this ball change rule and saliva, as I mentioned, because of which bowlers are getting reverse swing towards the end. It should not matter that much, especially if you're putting 200 plus on board, because we have seen ki chasing 200 plus has not been easy for any team, even in this edition of the IPL.
So as you said, personally, I remember talking about this before GT game, and I said even if we get first batting, just like what was done against MI, we need to put up a score where we can defend the same. But however, against GT, I think somewhere we were very reckless with our shots. I don't agree with showing all three stumps and going bonkers. Siraj was good, but then somehow I feel RCB also helped him to look so good. So again, if RCB bats first, right? Have we learned from GT game? And we are gonna that initial 8-10 over hota hai na ki there is some movement in Chinnaswamy. I feel second time it eases out slightly, even though you do comes or goes, slightly eases out. That's how it looked at least last match. So how are we gonna, especially Salt or Kohli, facing Starc and even Mukesh for that matter, who swings and seams a little. So if do you see any changes, or do you think, according to you, कि कुछ change करना पड़ेगा, या take your time, eventually play out?
I don't think so, especially for Phil Salt, because that fellow knows only how to swing the bat. Usko aur kuch aata nahi hai. So let him do what he does. Virat Kohli, he mentioned in the I think mid innings break yesterday that he is someone who likes to get a feel on the ball early, and once he does, then he is able to play those big shots. So I think that should be the template for Virat. Just try and find the gaps in the first 4-5 balls he faces, and then he can explode. And he is one of the best players of pace in the IPL, in the world. I mean, so there is very little doubt about Virat Kohli's pedigree, and Mitchell Starc will be a matchup. But if I just have a look at the data for Virat against Starc, I have it over here with me. In the power play in T20s, he has scored 54 runs unbeaten in 31 balls at a strike rate of 174.19 against Mitchell Starc. So he has a very strong matchup against Starc, and I feel like there is no need to change as of now for RCB. It's not like SRH where things are going terribly wrong, and as of now, I think it's quite sorted.
So so going forward, you're assuming. So we both will assume, I think, after MI result also, that they're going to play the same 11. Now there are perception, like for example, me, my friends, and all, or even my brother. I don't know how many audience agree with this or no. We feel if there is a liability, or if there is any kind of weakness, it is DDP. So, however, that player is playing slightly better this season compared to previous seasons in terms of intent, at least. I still feel we have better players. Like there is a strong case people are making for Manoj Pandey. Like you guys are every season picking him up. He's playing really well in SMAT. Yet you guys are not. My counter argument is we are very well placed in finishing slots. Like we have one after another. Manoj usually plays in that slot. And I have a very strong, personally, I want to see Swastik Chikara because there's so much huff and puff about him on social media. So what do you think about DDP? Is it just random, like how we spoke about Chinnaswamy curse? It's just random audience unhappy or public not happy? Or is there some element of doubt with him? Intent is there. I feel the lad always fails in execution, or his skill sets don't work certain times. So what do you think? कि DDP को drop तो नहीं करेंगे, पता है मुझे, because we love to go with the same 11. We'll not even experiment with ऊपर नीचे. Like personally, I feel Liam can come one down if because he has slight vulnerability against spin. I don't think they'll change. But what do you think? Do you have a strong case with DDP, or you agree with us?
With regard to Devdutt Padikkal, I think he is somewhere in between. He is not as bad as a certain segment of the audience feels like, and he's not even as good as some people feel. He's somewhere in between. And I mentioned this in my pre-season analysis article, which I did for Crick blog. He will play a quietly pivotal role for RCB this season. And out of 4 games, he has played 2 high-impact knocks already. Again, I'm not expecting him to score all those, big 70s or 80s or maybe, centuries. That's not for him. He is someone who, if a wicket falls early, he has to maintain the momentum in the power play. And agar wicket मान लो कि it's just falling at the end of the power play, his role is to attack on each and every ball he faces. If he gets away, good. Even if he gets out, does not matter because you have Patidar coming in. You cannot afford to keep Patidar waiting in the wings for long. So I feel like see with Swastik Chikara, I think there is a lot of potential over there. But then again, it's all right-handers up till number 7. Padikal वहाँ पे एक left-handed element add करता है. And I mentioned this again in my Crick blog article piece as well. If you look at his record in the IPL in the UAE versus his record in the IPL in India, there is a big difference. And especially if you look at good batting decks like Wankhede, Chinnaswamy, Eden Gardens, especially in these venues, although the sample size is small right now, his strike rate goes up against spin, especially in spin, like a left arm spin and wrist spin. Basically, what he's there to do, he needs to target these specific bowlers and shield Virat or Salt, whoever is batting with him at the other end, from these matchups. And his strike rate against these kind of bowlings at good batting venues, it goes up to 170 or something. So I think that is the reason why I mentioned he will play a quietly pivotal role, and I'm quite happy with the way he has played so far in this tournament, and hopefully he can take it forward.
If DDP listens to this, at least some confidence is going to gain from this, because I personally liked him first season with RCB. Man has intent, man wants to prove, but I also personally, I feel, as you said, somewhere is in between, and he also comes at a very crucial, he's not coming a 4 or 5, right? He's coming in that one down where Virat Kohli played really long time, and Rajat also played for some time. So somewhere, I think public gets very impatient. Like I liked what he did against MI. Though he got out for a beautiful ball by Puttur. I really like that kid also. Just taking into that, it's unfair if you don't speak about DC. They have been very good, and they are in my top 4. Like my top 4 mein, along with RCB, Punjab, DC is another team. I feel they have a very good bowling lineup. Starting hai, beginning hai, middle hai, and end bhi hai. So I feel, how are we going to tackle DC's bowling at Chinnaswamy? Yes, the argument is we have every kind of player for everything. However, will DC's form help them do anything? Let's thoda unke liye bhi baat kar lete, because it shouldn't. So what do you think DC has how do you feel the team is this season? And because they've not faced any big teams also till now. They've not faced RCB. They've, I think, I don't know, KKR, I don't know. CSK, to, let's not talk about them this season. But so what do you think about DC? And is there any steam, or it's going to be like any other season?
No, I think this time they have a very good team. More than the bowling, I'm more impressed by how they have racked up that batting. You look at their openers, Faf du Plessis, although he is aging, but he is aged like fine wine, right? He's scoring runs all around the globe. I mean, matchups are not mattering, conditions are not mattering. Faf du Plessis is just scoring runs for fun. With him is Jake Fraser-McGurk. वहाँ पे थोड़ा form का concern है. Since the IPL last season, he has not done anything substantial. But Delhi would hope that he finds his form, at good batting venues like Chinnaswamy and eventually moving into Kotla. So I think that's a good opening pair to have. और उसके बाद you look at their batting, Abhishek Purel, KL Rahul, Akshar Patel, Tristan Stubbs, and then you have Ashutosh Sharma, Vipraj Nigam. You have batting until number 8. They have 2 left-handers in there, both of them quite strong against spin. And they are sandwiched between pace hitters. Faf at the top, KL at 4, Stubbs at number 6. And all these pace hitters are also quite good against spin. So overall, you go in terms of left-right matchups, or if you go in terms of relative strengths against spin versus pace, they have it all covered. And then towards the end, you have Ashutosh Sharma and at Vipraj Nigam at number 8, who also showed a lot of potential in the first game that he played against Punjab, was it? I don't remember. Pehla game Delhi ka kiske saath tha, which they won in that chase. So overall, I feel fantastic batting lineup. Mitchell Starc has bowled much better this season. He isn't just going in search of swing up front. He's pulling his length back slightly, bowling more of good length, getting the ball to angle across the right hander. And I feel overall, and I mean, I missed their spinners. They have Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav, two of the best spinners in India, if not the best. So overall, I like the setup of the team, and I think they have it in them to at least qualify for the playoffs, if not go all the way.
I totally agree with this. That I feel they have the best spin combo also in IPL. I don't if as like both are in form, one can bat. So I am worried little bit. I was not worried about GT, but it turned out ulta. So I am worried about DC. I hope it turns out ulta. So coming into towards the end, I just want to ask, what's according to you, who or what's going to be the X factor in this game? Let's give it something for RCB, and also let's think about like DC. Most of it mentioned. What can be that X factor which can take RCB ahead and start off winning at Chinnaswamy this season? And or is Faf just like Siraj did to RCB, like you dropped me, so I'm going to show how good I am? Will Starc, will Faf, especially Faf, are they going to come and show us you made a mistake by dropping us?
Faf might, because Faf has great numbers at Chinnaswamy, and even in terms of matchups against RCB's pace trio, Bhuvneshwar, Dayal, and Hazelwood, 148 runs of 98 balls, just one dismissal, strike rate of 151, and even that one dismissal did not come in the power play. So Faf can definitely score, and he can make us pay for leaving him, which I feel was okay. But ठीक है, अब क्या करें? Even against Krunal Pandya, एक ही dismissal है उसका. Sample size of 56 balls, good enough. The Faf has good numbers against all RCB bowlers. He loves Chinnaswamy, and I think he will play a big role, especially because Delhi Capitals last season, अगर अपन देखेंगे in terms of strike rate in the power play, they were the second best team. But right now, as of now, in this season, they are the third worst team, and this is majorly due to Jake Fraser-McGurk का form अच्छा नहीं है, and also Faf missed one match, and they are up against RCB, who have been the best, in terms of economy rate in the power play until now this season. So that will be a very interesting phase of play. एक टीम एकदम टॉप पे, एक टीम थोड़ा नीचे की तरफ, and Fraser-McGurk not in form. And if Delhi can win that phase, then I feel like they will dominate, because they are the best performing team in terms of strike rate in the middle overs this season. And then it gets very difficult for RCB, because middle overs bowling I still feel is a bit of a concern, especially if you don't take wickets up front in the power play. So I think that is something which we must keep an eye on, especially on Fraser-McGurk. If he gets going, then he can really take the game away from Delhi's point of view.
I totally agree. And a point mentioned here that no one is talking about it yet. It came up in GT's match. I feel it's going to come up somewhere. Somehow we are escaping about it because others are performing. I genuinely feel there is an issue in the middle overs for RCB if we don't fire in the first six. Like yesterday also, or with the MI match, I said power play is key. If RCB wins power play, there is a chance. So it's very dependent on Bhuvi and Hazel and Yash to get something in the first 6-7 overs. Otherwise, I personally feel the same. I hope it never happens and these people keep performing and Hazel stays fit all through. And coming towards the end, I just want you to start with your predictions. First is, what do you think? How much you think? Like whether it's 50-50 or 60-40, or that is one aspect of it. And if at all, if you're leaning towards someone, why? And वो fan को थोड़ा side में रख के let's दिमाग क्या बोलेगा, because fan तो I feel 100% RCB. But so what do you think the prediction will be, and why? Like your reasoning for it.
I think it will be a very good game, a very close game, because two good units up against each other. But kahin na kahin, I'm leaning a bit towards RCB. I'm not too sure why. I feel it's more of a gut feel. 60-40, not by much, because I feel they have played well this season, yeah, and Delhi also have played well. But pata nahi, it's just a gut feel. Ki it might go towards RCB, and we might see them getting their first win at Chinnaswamy this season.
So what's your hot take? Will Starc get a hat trick, or will Salt show she'll put some salt on Starc?
नहीं hat-trick तो नहीं आ रहा है. Mitchell Starc definitely no hat-trick. Okay, I'll give a hot take. He won't take more than 1 wicket or at max 2 wickets against RCB, and Virat Kohli will put him away.
Oh, that's big.
Yes.
See, I agree with something with the record stats you shared, how good Virat Kohli plays against Starc, and he loves Chinnaswamy. I feel he was unlucky against GT. Timing perfect, it just went to the hand, and I that man always wants to prove a point. I said it in the previous episodes also. How much ever we look like a team this time, we can't forget Virat Kohli. And whenever he stays there for a few overs, or like yesterday, or against MI, there is an impact, there is an anchor. So I personally feel Virat Kohli will also show Starc why we didn't retain you forever. And so that comes to the end of the show. And thank you, Sparsh. It was great having you for the first time. I wish you can come more often. And thank you for your brainy side off too, and the fan side too. We are very happy that RCB is loved across India, and I'm sure Virat Kohli plays a role in that. And please I'll put his social media handle in our description. Please give a follow to Sparsh, and he really is really active on X, and he has some hot takes which come across really good. Especially I saw a few them against MI. And thank you, Sparsh, for coming on. And I hope RCB breaks the Chinnaswamy curse this time. I stopped saying it curse. and great having you. If you have anything to say finally, it would be great. And otherwise, we are happy to welcome you to our Adda. In Adde pe to baat hona hi hai.
Thank you for having me. I also enjoyed my time over here. Great discussion, fantastic hosting, and I hope to be here more often. I enjoyed my time, and to all the viewers, please subscribe to Adda. I'm sure even outside of cricket there must be a lot of fantastic content coming from this channel. So give it a like, subscribe, and turn that notification on. Otherwise, you won't get the notification, yaar.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sparsh. Thanks for watching Adda. We'll be back soon, and I hope RCB wins and enjoy the win against MI.